you can't work on your own. You can't work on your own electric vehicles because Rivian doesn't sell parts, and there's no, I don't know how to work on high voltage battery systems and stuff. Like that's not something that I have much experience with.
Hey, and welcome back to a riveting adventure. It's been a minute. So back in February, we flew to Florida for a family trip to soak up some sun and warmth. And while we were there, we started rethinking our travel plans for the year. We mapped out some awesome trips that we're super excited about and got a few lined up that we can't wait to embark on. The winter was cold. Man, the trailer was freezing. We didn't film much, but life kept moving on. And amid all the planning, we talked about what's working, what's not, and what changes we might need to make sooner than expected. In today's episode, we're catching you up, sharing what we've upgraded, and talking through a big decision we didn't see coming quite this soon. Episode 2, Rethinking the Road.
So how do we plan our trips? Well, the first things first is we have to determine where we're going to go. Usually we have some idea in mind of where we would like to explore. We will pretty much start by just picking a destination that'll sort of create the furthest away from home anchor point of the trip. So now we have a start point, home, and we have a middle point, which is that furthest point out from where we're going to be. In between, rather than taking a direct beeline there and a direct beeline back, we may come up with a routing that sort of creates a big circle or a loop. That's what we prefer, so we can explore other areas on the way. The thing that I have found that we like the best is we come up with this place. In this case, in this example, it's going to be Cades Cove in the Smoky Mountains. So we'll put that into Google Maps and we'll come up with just an overall picture of what's in between us and that point. And then we'll start to look at other cities, towns, states, attractions that are, in any way related to that point. And we'll start to plan just a general idea of things that we would like to pass by. So we're going to Cades Cove. Last year, we went to the Shenandoah National Park, and we really liked the state park campground that we stayed in near Shenandoah. So we know we'd like to hit that again for a night or two, so that goes in there. Then we know that we want to see more of Tennessee, so after Cades Cove, we know we want to head toward Nashville. So this starts to build, it's starting to form the loop. So once we're in Nashville, there's a couple different ways that you can come home. So from there, I start planning what does it look like coming home from Nashville. The next tool that I think is the most useful, and it's the one I lean on the heaviest after Google Maps, is the route planner on thedirt.com. And it's a really great tool because you can put in all your preferences and it will plan you a route between 2 points with camping along the way. And that's awesome because it takes a lot of that work away from you, where you might plan a trip on Google Maps to get home, but you don't know where you're going to stay along the way. And the dirt makes that so easy. So from Nashville to home, I can put that in on the dirt and say, give me a trip back. I can tell it I want to drive a certain number of hours per day or a certain number of miles per day, and it'll just find me places to stay right on that interval. That gives you a good starting point to look at it and say, oh, okay, this is sort of what's possible for me on that interval. These are some areas that I can stay. I rarely take that first plan, but it gets me closer. It starts to take this blurry picture and starts to focus it in my mind. And I'll look at that general route and see if it passes by anything that I would like to see on the way. For example, from Nashville to home, the route passes pretty close to the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. It passes in one direction up by Niagara Falls. In another direction, it goes through West Virginia. So it allows me to start making some decisions there, like what would we like to see? Which route would we prefer? We just went to Niagara Falls a couple years ago and we've seen that. So I'm leaning toward going home through West Virginia right now. I've always wanted to see the Frank Lloyd Wright House, Falling Water. Turns out that's pretty much right on that route if we take West Virginia route home. Between Nashville and home, we've started to see that we have the Corvette Museum that's pretty much on the way, Falling Water House is on the way. So this starts to create these little waypoints. It just allows you to start kind of focusing that picture even more and planning an itinerary. So we've used Google Maps and planned a general route, a general loop. We've honed in on some attractions that we would like to see and started to use the planning tools on the dirt.com to determine where we're going to stay. This is when I will start a day-by-day list. From the time I leave my house to the time we're going to get back home, I have each date written down, and then I'll start putting down where we're going to stay and what the basic plan is that day. Is it just a travel day? Is it a partial day where there's a waypoint along the way and travel? Or is it more of a extended stay where we're planning whole day activities at that campground?
We're talking about the real possibility of swapping out the Rivian for something else. I love the Rivian, and we know that it tows.
Well, when we bought the Rivian, we didn't even have any inclination that we were going to be towing a trailer. It just wasn't even something that wasn't even on the horizon. We weren't talking about it. We actually were looking at rooftop tent camping, and we did that a couple times, and it was fun, but it ends up being so much work packing up everything because the way we camp as a family, we have to bring so much stuff.
So I have my morning face on, bad head hair. It's Sunday morning and we're just hanging out on the couch and we're discussing something that honestly was inevitable at some point or another, but I don't know that we saw it coming quite this soon. And what that is do we keep the Rivian? Or do we change trucks? And the reason this is coming up, backtrack, we bought the Rivian 2.5 years ago. It'll be 3 years in August. We love it. It's amazing. When we bought the Rivian, we didn't anticipate we'd be towing anything. And it worked great with our first little camper. And now that we've upgraded to the Airstream, it still works great. But we're very limited on range. And unfortunately, the charging network, it's just not exactly where we were hoping to see it by this point in 2025. We thought there would be a lot more options of charging, especially up here in the Northeast. And there aren't that many pull-through chargers. The way that we go to gas stations, you just pull in. It doesn't matter what you're towing. You can just pull in, pull out, done. Some of these charging spots, you have to unhook, charge, rehook. It's just a lengthy process. So we're looking at other options for trucks because we do want to make this part of our lifestyle and travel a lot. As much as we love this truck, we don't want to be limited on where we can go, how quickly we can go because of the charging issue. And so it isn't that the Rivian isn't badass, because it is, and it can tow and it's no problem and it's awesome. But it's the issue of limited range and limited charging options. And, when we've got limited time with kids on school vacations, we really need to maximize that time and get to our destination as quickly as possible.
Is this an elevation we're looking at? What was that?
Yeah, it's a 2024 elevation holdover. It looks like it's brand new and it's 230 miles, so it's basically a new truck. But it's a crew cab. It has the short bed, which I prefer. I think I might be able to fit that into the garage still.
Oh, really? It would fit?
I think it might just barely. We'll see. It might not, but
If it doesn't, can I park in the garage?
yes.
Woohoo!
I like that it has the black wheels, the black accents, no chrome. So looking at this, the GMC Sierra 1500 with the 3-liter Duramax, I think it's kind of a no-brainer compared to the possibility of the Ram Charger that I like.
Really?
The thing I like about the Ram Charger is that you have all the advantages of an electric truck.
Great.
Smooth, quiet, no engine wear and tear for pretty much all the days of the year that you're not towing. And you still have, a little bit longer range, or a lot longer range when you are towing. It's awesome, but it doesn't even exist yet. They're talking about it now. They've had car reviewers have they've had their hands on them. They've seen them, but I don't think anyone's even driven one yet from the automotive press. And I don't even know when they're going to go into production. They're saying second half of this year. It could be November or December before anyone's taking any deliveries of them. And it's probably going to cost a good $20,000 more than this one will. So.
And we could get it sooner.
We could get this week, as opposed to waiting until November. Most likely about $20,000 cheaper than the Ram Charger would be. You can buy a lot of gas for $20,000.
Right.
And the electric vehicles, who knows how the hybrid version of the Ram Charger will be, but in general, electric vehicles have pretty steep depreciation because people get so nervous about the battery and everything. You're going to see a lot less depreciation. Jumping into this truck almost like locks in the value that we have in the Rivian now, because it's practically even money what we could trade it for, or give a lot slower depreciation from there. And it saves us 20 grand over going with the Ram Charger. I think it's kind of a no-brainer.
Well, we don't even really know exactly what the price for the Ram Charger is even going to be. It could be higher than we're anticipating.
Well, nothing says we can't get one in the future. This is almost an even money trade for the Rivian. Like, even money trade, switch trucks, better tow vehicle, slow down the depreciation curve a little bit from the electric vehicle that we have, which I assume is going to fall off a cliff once the warranty comes toward the end. And it gives us some time to wait and see what the Ram Charger is and what it does.
Right.
So, I think this is the way. I think we should see if we can make a deal on it.
Like before Myrtle Beach?
Maybe.
So after just a couple days of talking about it, we've decided it is time to sell the Rivian and upgrade to a different truck that can tow the Airstream longer distances. And although we knew that we weren't going to have the Rivian forever, we kind of thought that maybe we would upgrade to a different Rivian sooner than later versus changing brands fully. And so today is the day to say goodbye to the Rivian, and it's kind of coming suddenly. I feel super emotional. Actually, I feel like I could cry. It's kind of ridiculous. We love this truck. It's awesome. It's wonderful. It's just that we want to do long distance towing, and it would be nice to be able to go a little further than what we've been able to do. So I'm going to go say goodbye to the truck. We had to make a choice, and it was, do we keep our Rivian and feel limited in how far we can go when we're towing the Airstream, or do we make the call and change trucks altogether? And we decided to change trucks, and we're going with a GMC Sierra. It's going to be a really nice truck. It's 2024 diesel. I can't tell you much more about it other than it's white. And it's going to be a lot bigger for our family, so there'll be a lot more space for us when we're doing these trips. But I'm so surprisingly sad to say goodbye to the Rivian. Like, I'm really sad. It's the first vehicle that I have really struggled to say goodbye to. Isn't that weird? And like, we were kind of anticipating that we would say goodbye to the Rivian within the next couple years at least. So that it would still be under warranty, but we just weren't anticipating that we would be saying goodbye so soon. So a lot more sad to say goodbye to the Rivian than I am excited about this GMC truck. But I know that it's a good move for our family, so I support the decision.
So, charging with the trailer is not great, and here's why. We're at the front of the vehicle, and this is the charge port. Right now I'm plugged into my garage. This is the most convenient thing in the world. I wake up every morning and it's like the magic fuel fairies just came along and topped off my vehicle. I don't ever go to a local gas station. That's what's incredibly convenient about an electric vehicle for a local vehicle. But for towing, this is a major problem where this is located, because most charging installations, well, it's not even where it's located, it's just the way charging stations are built. They are built for cars to come straight into them or back into them. Usually you'll find them on the edge of a parking lot or somewhere that's just not made to be pulled through. And when you have a 30-foot trailer behind your 20-something odd foot truck, you need a pull-through spot. And usually we don't find that. So typically we have to pull over somewhere else, find a convenient spot to drop the trailer, unhook, drive over to the charger, plug into that, spend between 20 and 45 minutes charging, depending on how much juice we need, rehook the trailer, and then we're on our way. And this is just an involved process, and it just adds stress to the travel that is just in addition to the stress that we already have when we're towing. Well, these are the last moments in the Rivian. We are clearing the settings. Factory refresh. Somebody else's vehicle now. I'm a little sad. Don't look too close in my eyes. I'm not crying, you're crying. This has been a great truck. Sad to see you go, Rivian. Hope we meet again soon. But we're on to new things now.
Wow, there's a lot of squished earthworms. Gross.
I'm so excited. Same. Here? Yes. I hear him. So motivated. I know. See you? Whoa! That's so sick.
How to drive?
That's nice.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, it's 26 miles per gallon coming over here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice.
Diesel.
Nice. Looks good, Penny. What do you think? Okay. Okay.
Okay, the new rig is all hooked up on the new truck. Show you what I did here. Came around and I set up the way safe hitch. I really like this thing because it shows you your exact tongue weight before you set up the bars. And then there's a nice little app that you put in what the current tongue weight is, and it does some kind of magical calculations, and it gives you what it calls a distributed or a combined tongue weight. And you adjust this little screw right here until the reading gives you what the app has determined is the right amount of tension, and that puts the right amount of tension on these spring bars to distribute the load properly. We're looking pretty good here. The load's all distributed, the trailer's sitting nice and level. Only have about 1.5 inches of squat on the rear end here. Pretty comfortable with that. The front end is only about 1/2 inch off the unladen height. So I'm feeling good about this. I do have some airbags coming to install back here to hopefully level the load out even more and go down the road as level as possible when we tow. So should have that installed before the trip, and we're excited to get on the way.
House right here with a bathroom.
Closer.
Friggin' man, I swear. Just because you can, Eric, doesn't mean you should. There's a bathroom right inside. Ekman, you're always leaving the door open, I swear. Ready to do this?
I'm ready. Excited for the first tow.
It doesn't sound like the Rivian.
Okay. Here we go.
And you can change the view to give it the road too, right?
Mm-hmm.
This definitely feels different.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot beat the quality of the tow with an electric motor. I mean, that's why locomotives are electric. Like, there's a reason for it. The quality of the propulsion that an electric motor gives you is it's just better. But diesels are pretty good, and it will certainly go longer distance and it'll refuel faster.
get over how wide this middle armrest is.
It's giant compared to the Rivian.
Could literally like put a dog bed up here and one of the dogs could just camp out. That might be the best thing for Dusty. I don't know. Come on, Sarah, you can do it. No more hitting 110 on the on-ramps.
It's good so far. Accelerated, fine. Certainly not like the Rivian, but no issues.
Yeah. Shwigga shwee.
Track's straight. About to take the exit here.
Okay.
No problems braking. I've got the trailer gain set to 5. Seems to be good.
Good.
It felt like
A spaceship.
it felt like a spaceship. It felt like something different.
Is that how loud this would be anyway? Or is that just because it's pulling so much that it's like really roaring?
It's using a lower gear because it has the weight. If it didn't have the weight, it would be using a higher gear for the acceleration. I guess to 65 by the end of a relatively short ramp.
Yeah.
That's
all you can ask for.
It's fine.
It's towing a lot of weight.
One thing I like is that the adaptive cruise control in this will work with the trailer. And the Rivian, the adaptive cruise control doesn't work when you have the trailer. And that's a major...
it's fatiguing.
Yeah, it's a major source of fatigue removed by being able to use adaptive cruise control. So that'll be nice.
It's a definite perk. What do you notice about this moment right now?
It's quiet.
It's quiet. Got you?
I got you.
This is reminding me an awful lot of another situation that was very close to this.
Yes. It is. All right. Here we go.
As much as we absolutely loved the Rivian, making the switch to a diesel truck opened the door to so many new possibilities, and it ended up being the right decision. Right out of the gate, we were able to pivot from our original Myrtle Beach trip and head all the way down to Florida on the same timeline. Without charging stops, we saved hours of travel time, which let us cover way more ground. We made it all the way down to the Space Coast of Florida, and we can't wait to share what we did, where we stayed, and how the journey unfolded in the next few episodes. We'll also be showing you some of the upgrades we made in the trailer, including why we definitely weren't fans of the twin bed setup and how we customized it to make it work better for our family. Thanks so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow along and help us grow this channel and community. We're so excited to have you on this journey with us. And before you go, don't forget there's a hidden Easter egg in this video, so if you spot it, drop it in the comments below for a chance to win some Riveting Adventure merch designed by yours truly. See you next time!